Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be looking at this Colocasia black stem, and this is the first time I've actually grown this particular plant, or actually any Colocasia to be honest. And quite surprising to me anyway that although I've got this Colocasia in the pot here, it's got these runners which are coming out, and I'm told that if you cut those off and cut those up and pot those into some pots and everything, they put roots down and they basically form brand new plants. So the eventual aim is to actually have one of my grey troughs along this back section and move these two planters to the front bit of the garden as you come into the gate. I've recently bought those couple of cordyline, which you may have seen on the channel. So the cordyline are going to go in these pots, and the Colocasia are going to go in a trough along the back of this seating area. So that's the plan anyway. So I'll just show you a bit more of the detail of what I'm going to be doing today. So these are the runners which I was just talking about, and you can see they're coming from the center of the main plant, which is absolutely huge. Actually there's two in here, I must say, and you can see the runners coming over the edge of the pot, and very excited that you can see just, oh, let's move this past the pot there. You can just about see, there you go, it's in focus now, the little roots coming off the side of it. So my plan is to further up the stem, chop them across here, and then put them into pots. So you can see the roots down there. Well, actually, it's quite a decent little plant coming off of that one in particular. So they're probably the biggest two of the runners. There's another one over here, all quite exciting. One over the back here. So you can see again the roots coming through there. So it seems that they form a new plant quite easily, which is quite a surprise for me. I've got another one of the Colocasia Madeiras, which is more of a dwarf Colocasia, and that one hasn't sent any runners out. But of course it's not as big a variety as this one. So this, obviously, when I first put this plant into the pot, it was not my intention to have all these coming over the edge of it. But as I say, we'll put those into a trough of them, and it'll basically form a really good backdrop to this seating area here. So you see at the moment it's just one plant, so I could potentially put them over there because I've got one of the grey planters at the back, and these pineapple lilies weren't actually that successful. These were the bigger variety, and the slugs have just ravaged them, so they're not looking very good at all. But yeah, I could put that same variety of Colocasia, so they come up here. They'll probably come to about this height. So I might move those around the corner. See another one of my troughs around here. Oh, exciting. That was my a new hybrid Trachycarpus, which I bought the other day, which I think is a Martianus one. So I've got a new leaf coming out the top of it. But yeah, I'm getting distracted now. So yeah, this is the main plant, which has been really successful this year with some flowers and stuff. So let's do the cuttings. So yes, I'm actually going to chop these right back to the main plant on there. So there we go, there's the first one. This bit here is actually a drier, woodier material. So not quite sure how I'm going to get these in the pot at the moment, but we shall see in a minute. Let's keep taking them off. There's the next plant. That one's actually a really cool plant. Really pleased with that. and actually easier to get into the pot as well, because I can potentially plant that. Hopefully you see it in camera. I can plant that down to this sort of level. So it's a good one. Smaller ones I'm going to leave actually on there. There's a small one at the back, but the smallest ones I'll leave. This will probably be my smallest one. Hope you can see that on camera, because that's got little roots on it as well. That's that one, and I will continue all the way around the plant. So over in this area is my little potting area at the moment. It's not, I haven't really got a potting bench or anything, because they're all being used up by all the palms behind me. So I've got some 3-litre pots and some very sandy soil. And what we're trying to achieve is the cuttings in the pots like this. Some of them are quite bent and misshapen, but they will naturally straighten up over time. So the method I'm using for this is I will fill up a third of the pot with soil, like that, and then making sure that all the new root points are underground, and I'm basically going to fill in around the cutting with soil. And we only want to lightly firm this in, so I don't want them to be too I don't want the soil to get too wet and everything, so I'm not going to water these for quite a few days, and we want the roots just to find their way in the soil, because the worst thing would be if they completely rot off, which is a possibility on there. So I've got 6 of these cuttings in total, which I'm doing. 3 are already in the pot, and there's probably another 6 runners on the main plant, which I'm going to let develop. And now these have been removed, the other ones will develop quicker, and we'll end up with 6 decent plants like this sort of size, and then hopefully I can grow those on for the next few months, and then put them into the greenhouse. They won't be heated particularly warm in there, so they will probably naturally die back down, but I'm hoping that by that point they will have been well rooted into the pot. So that's it for the Colocasia black stems. So the next cutting I'm going to do is the Persicaria Red Dragon, and to do these cuttings I'm simply going to chop back these long parts of the plant, trim off a lot of the leaves, so trim off the big leaves like this. Then this whole piece, actually I'll trim this off like this, so I'll leave a little bit on the end of the cutting, and then the roots should come from the leaf node area there. So I'm going to repeat this over the whole plant, and these are all going to go in 5-litre pots. I'm just going to place loads of the cuttings in there and just allow them to all root, and then I should end up with 3 5-litre pots that are really dense plants. So as you can see, the thing about Persicaria Red Dragon is it has these amazing purple leaves on there, and some of the older leaves are actually going more green. But there's lots of potential with this plant. There's actually 3 plants in here which I bought online at the beginning of the season, so these are now all well rooted in this location. But the plan is I want to create a couple of other groups in the garden just to fill in, because it's such a reliable plant and it's a really nice contrast against the other plants. Although the other type of Persicaria, which I've got this side with the nice red flowers, so they've got more interesting flowers on them than Red Dragon, which has got these creamy coloured flowers. But the green one gets kind of a little bit, the foliage gets lost within the rest of the borders and everything. So Red Dragon is a really good option if I want to create contrast with other plants on there. So that's the reason why I'm taking loads of cuttings from it. Also, I'm hoping to take some cuttings for the NGS garden show next year, where sort of for the first time really, I'm hoping that I've got a really decent display of the tropical plants that I can then offer people, because in the past I've just offered kind of herbaceous plants from the front garden really. So I'm thinking with all the Persicarias growing, cannas and the bananas and the Colocasias, I'm hoping that I can create a really good display for the show. So here I've got a big bunch of the Persicaria Red Dragon, and these are going to be going into these 5 litre pots here. So as I stated in the other part of the video, what we're going to basically do is trim off the big leaves like this. Being careful not to ruin the shoot. And what we're looking for is to have, try and focus it, the base of this plant. You can see which is where the leaf node is, just down here. I'm looking for probably 2 to be buried into the soil, so pushing down so that that second one is below the soil. And then I will repeat that all around this pot, and the plan is these will all root in and I will have the 3 decent pots there. And these are the Persicarias that I'd done probably a couple of weeks ago, and you can see they're all looking really healthy. And we've just about, if I can focus again, you can just see the little white tips of the roots coming through the bottom of the pot there. So these are, only about 2 or 3 weeks old, and I've got 4 pots here. These are probably, to be honest, these will be my selling plants for next year. So I could split each one of those up, because each one of those cuttings will have like a little root system going on there now. And I could pot those into separate plants, or I could leave them in one pot and just have them as like a really dense, quite big plant there. So they're so easy to take from cutting, so highly recommend them. And here we have the final result. So we've got the Persicaria Red Dragon, all the cuttings in the pots there, all looking good. Give it 2 or 3 weeks, they will look like the other ones up here. And the black stem Colocasias, which are down here. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, because I've not done that before with these. So yeah, I'll let you know when they're hopefully all looking really good on there. So yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button if you've enjoyed the video, and I will do some more of these soon.